Oh my goodness. Hello, Paula. Hello, Laz. The time has come. I must stream, but I'm not at home. No. Instead, I'm house sitting and puppy sitting. I got a puppy running around the place. So, hopefully they don't cause any trouble while I'm streaming. I mean, they've been pretty chill so far, besides wanting attention from me, which is adorable. So that part's nice, but, you know, want to make sure I'm able to do stuff without them. If I take my eyes off them and the house gets torn down, then that's definitely more of an issue. But oh, here they come. Hello, Bubby. Hello. No, please. I know you're very cute. I know you're very cute, but oh, you're coming up. And they were like, I want to get on the couch. What's going on over here? I'm going to redeem. Wait. No, on principle, I'm going to redeem. I'm going to refund that real quick, Laz, because I can't I can't get you a Oswald picture while I'm doing this, and I'm not gonna give you pictures of the puppy I don't own either. How do I refund a thing? Mrs. Bubby, do you mind? Walk all the way home to Oswald. Great idea. I mean, all it does is make sure I can't do art as quickly. So if that's what you're here for, Laz, Mrs. Bubby. Okay, I'm gonna do the hard thing, which is gonna start ignoring you, because I know you like attention, but now I have business to do. Yes, I know. Oh, I know. Okay, I'll just scratch your head a bit. Bubby is very cute. I just imagine she's just like just out of sight on the camera, just below the drawing pad. Where is get edit? Save. You. I don't know how to do this. I wish I had a mod. Okay. Yes, I know. Yes, I know, Miss Puppy. Ow. Okay. Nope. She's like, let me give me love. Miss Puppy, I know. She just got really uppity. Report. I don't want to report the rewards at the. Ma'am, she got to know. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, you're gonna make me do it, aren't you? You're gonna need to behave. Up. I'm gonna try ignoring you for a minute. Okay, I will. Turn on shield mode. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that does. Okay, there she goes. She's much better now. Go hang out, Miss Bubby. Yeah, I'll just do it later. I promise, Laz. I will return your points after stream or whenever Ma gets here. But let's do some art. I apologize, I'm bad at streaming. I know. Such a start to stream. Not knowing how to do something, and Bubby getting all uppity. Slow mode, auto. Wait. Yeah, no, I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do anything. Okay. Anyway. To work. You know, to work. Oh, you know what? We do have one more piece of business to do. Let me see if I can just look it up. Does this work? Nope, not at all. I'm gonna go into Discord real quick. I know, again, very... what is a Cahill stream? Without some technical difficulties, you know? Wait. Go up, go down. Around. Here it is. This should be good. Now we're cooking with gas. After I was viciously brutalized by a bubby. She really wanted attention. Ignoring I saw what you said, Paula. It's just at that point, when I get to that level of effort, I'm just like, I'll do it later. So, I'm gonna do it later. But anyway. Pop out. What is that? Oh, would you look at that? The fact you were able to do that, Paula, I mean not Paula, Laz, when, yep, reject. There we go. Okay, the fact you were able to do that when I didn't even know how to that's wild. Anyway, I'm doing eye catchers. At least 2 more. For a comic online. If you want to see the comic, just follow this link. We'll pin above stream. It's pretty cool. It's almost like a Western kids shonen series about water guns and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. I've already gotten one done before. You can see the one I did up on the site already. So if you want to see a little bit of previous work from Cahill that I didn't show a lot of people myself, because I just didn't know what the polite way to be would plug it, then you can go check it out there. And yeah, go look. Go take a looky-loo as you please. Right now, so let me take a look at a little storyboard they gave me. Not that. That's character model. Did they give me an actual like way the specific? Yeah, no. We gotta do gotta do an anticipation panel. Y'all know about anticipation panels, right? I hope you do. Just a little bit of anticipation. So I mean, we're gonna want the legs to basically be the same. Yeah. Yeah, of course. There you go. Fake it till you make it, Laz. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Damn it, digital fucking drawing. Put that butt out. Anyway. Oh yeah, if you weren't here at the stream yesterday, we were able to meet our monthly goal, which is always great. And furthermore, if I asked the person who helped me meet the goal, Greg, if I should try and do something I just think of, or if should just do like a poll to see what everyone else wants. And they were like, poll. So I'm going to put that up on the Discord soon-ish. Maybe like tomorrow. We'll see. I was busy getting here to watch Bubby today. So that and working on this a little bit, because the person who runs the comic Oh my goodness, I didn't even respond. Let this be a public record of Cahill both being often too socially anxious to respond to many things, but also just bad at responding in general. So, also let me get a good shrimping going on here because I'm working on a couch. I'm not working in an office right now. Doodle Sammy in your saw. You got it, Lewd Lime. Let me zoom into a part of the screen where details are not. And then let me look up Lewd Lime. Lewd Lime Twitch. Apparently there's Loodle, which is Lewd Wordle. That was so hard to say. Okay, I'm just gonna use your Twitch PFP. And then take like 5 minutes to I mean, I had difficulty drawing women yesterday, so honestly, while I somewhat appreciate your confidence in me drawing one today. You know, I love me some long elf ears. I'm not gonna lie. That's a one stylistic thing you can take from this, is that if I was designing any kind of elf-eared OC, those ears are about to be long. Get those lips too. The ones that didn't work as well on Lucy, but Lime needs those lips. The thing just cut out randomly. Bum bum ba-dum. Need lips for something. Miss Buppy, I'm sorry. I would love to give you love, but I'm doing business right now. I'm doing business meetings, Miss Bubby. Oh my lord. The one thing I'm truly scared of Lime, when it comes to Lime, is their vor emotes. That's besides the point. I hate how it follows principles of animation, and that successive emotes create an action happening. It's almost worse than it was just if it was just an animated emote onto its own right. I've made her fucking horns like half the size of her face, but you know what? I'm okay with that. And then give it some booba shine. There you go, Lime. Make sure you screenshot it. Make sure you screenshot or make it disappear. Because it's about to disappear. I'm so out of it. Weird days be weird. Goodbye, Sammy. Sick. I mean, listen, great thing about me is I keep my VODs. So even if you were like 2 weeks down the road, like, oh no, I forgot to screenshot my doodle. Guess what? It's going to be up on YouTube. You can grab it there. I was like, what? Was that a minute? Was that a minute or less? Or more? Or equal? Or the same? Or different? I don't know. I'm I feel bad because this. I just think I love that the phone is now ringing. The phone rang once and never again. I guess they were killed by Ghostface on the other end of it. We love a happy ending. Introverts are particularly immune to Ghostface murders because they don't answer the phone in the first place. They just let it go to voicemail. Is that in any of the screams? It's not in the first one or the second one or the soft reboot. Because I've seen, I know it's not in the first one because you know that's where they set the precedent. I've seen the second one and I've seen the soft reboot, but not in any of the wackier ones between 3 and 5 or 4. Is 5 the reboot? 5 might be the reboot. Like, you know, do they let it go to? Do they let it go to voicemail? Or are they just like, but what if though? Would be so funny. Because they're supposed to answer it and he kills them. But what if they didn't answer it and he kills them? You know what? I really just need to make like a horror film. Like, that's not at all my thing. Horror films, no matter what you think of them, are nothing if not inaccessible to most people in a lot of ways. So I don't like it because I'm not trying to alienate people from my content a lot of the time. But still, it'd be good to make a horror film where dying wasn't the consequence. You know what I mean? Dying is so often the bad thing that happens to you in the horror film, or becoming a zombie, or becoming a vampire, or etc., etc. Something that is basically also just dying. That we should really. I'm gonna get on. Deja likes making horror stuff. I'll get to them about that. You know what? No, my horror Lime. I mean, that could be one. Honestly, Lime, I don't know if that was a joke or not, but I was talking about a horror film where dying isn't the consequence of the monster, but like being swallowed and just kept in an elastic stomach could, to many people, be a horror film. Whether or not they know about Vor. To Vor people, or to non-Vor people. I mean, to some Vor people, it'll be a dream come true. Isn't... Bad and tries to be, and even worse. Stop! Lime! Up! I don't think you were here. I was thinking of for last night's stream, but fucking Pig made a joke about kinks, and I was saying how like you're fun because you're very forward about it, which not a lot of people are. I say this a lot. Like a lot of streamers will be like, "Oh, no, what are you talking about?" But you're just like, "No, straight up," and I love that about you. Nicole is fun though because I was saying I'm constantly playing guess the relationship between her and a lot of her friends, like you know, deer, and I love that. I mean, I'm the same way. A lot of my friends debate whether or not I'm actually gay. So it's not like, you know, in my personal life I'm not. I'm very like that. The like crop and rotate tool isn't always the best option, but it helps you because you can just like because even though these lines and the art gets fucked up, you can just redraw over this. There's no point denying things. Tell that to like half the VTubers who exist. We're just like, no. What are you talking about, step bro? Okay, I'm gonna let's start. Honestly, this should only be like 2 frames. And then he rumbles because he's getting ready to take off. And then poosh. Then his water gun splooges all over the area. What was the thing, I remember learning that there was a super soaker pulled from the market specifically because it was advertised as like discharging a white viscous fluid. Like that was their thing, is like they made a super soaker that shoots goo, which already off to a bad start. They made a super soaker that shoots goo, and they decided white is an okay color for the goo to be. Listen, it's so easy to follow. If you want liquid to spray everywhere in whatever kind of media, you don't make it white or red. Like, there's only 2 colors on that good old Roy G. Biv we all know and love that you can't make fucking liquid in your media when it goes everywhere, or else people will think it's a certain thing. One of 2 bodily fluids. As we all know by now, the Chinese government decided to censor one of them by turning it into the other. And I mean, I don't think that's actually what they wanted to do, but that's what they ended up doing. Red to white. Just go Danganronpa. Just make it pink. Make it hot pink. Love that. It's very interesting to see. I wouldn't mind watching some old Japanese films, because I've heard a lot of them around like film history and stuff like that. And granted, not a lot of film history is good. I've talked about it before, but I don't think I've talked about how like one film was made by a super racist. I might have touched on it lightly, but like that's one people are just like, and this is important to film history, and I'm like, I don't think it is. Honestly, so much of film you learn is like, I forget what it's called. Just like, lime. A film, a lot of people are like, this was important for the way it was made. Yeah, they're just like, the way this film looks and is made is important to film history. But it was made by someone who was wildly racist. But so much of early film is just people inventing stuff across the planet from each other at the same time. There's not really a first film, because a lot of people very close to each other were just kind of inventing movies at the exact same time. And also there's the argument that very, very ancient techniques count as film. At which point, where do you draw the line? Yeah, it is icky. But that's what I'm saying. At one point, I hope history just forgets about that. Because since there is so much of that, same stuff being invented at the same time, then maybe we can just leave that one in the annals of history. Besides that, though, I was going to mention how, I was just trying to get to how, like, not a lot of old films can always hold my interest. But Some do, and the ones that do are very good, and I like them. But I've seen around recently how, like, an old samurai film from Japan, oh my lord, an old samurai film from Japan, like a live action one, had a prop malfunction that spewed blood everywhere, and that's why in a lot of, I mean, that's what I meant, but still, and that's why that became so prominent in a lot of Japanese media, the excesses of blood. So I'd be interested in checking that out. Also, some Clint Eastwood stuff. For also Japanese reasons. Because famously, Jotaro of JoJo fame was heavily inspired by Clint Eastwood. And there's even some pictures with Clint Eastwood around and with some Jotaro theme stuff. So that's pretty cool. And also I remember there's a point in Rango, which I did not like when it came out, but I've been thinking about giving it another chance. I remember there was a point in Gore Verbinski and Johnny Depp's Rango where, like, titular character Rango gets the help of a dude in the desert, but I completely forgot that the dude is, well, I didn't know it was Clint Eastwood at the time. But then I was like, that is I now know who Clint Eastwood is, and that's almost certainly Clint Eastwood. I'm very bad with names and faces. And times and places. I forgot where I am and who I am. I'd forget my own name if it wasn't tattooed on the back of my eyelids. Nalid Lihak. Also, can I say, full disclosure, because I was just thinking about, I was thinking of pirate stuff. My brain works fast and weird. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to check out World of Warships, because that is one of the, sponsorships offered in Stream Elements, and legitimately just because of my theming. Name is tattooed above your ass. That's an interesting choice, Laz. I mean, I can imagine who'd be the kind of people who'd see that, but I don't know why they would need to remember it that much. If they don't know your name at that point, Laz, then you need to start asking some questions. Anyway, but just because of my theming and everything, and because I was legitimately curious about the game, I was thinking about checking that kind of game checking it out outside of stream, and if it's good, then be like, okay, yeah, sponsorship time. Because I love a good sailing simulator. It's literally, what's the Ubisoft game coming out? Skull and Bones? Is that it? I'm sorry, but if that's good and has what I want, but before March of next year, so that game is never coming out. But if it does end up being good, on the 1% chance it does, then you will not be able to stop me, actually. Because, I'm sorry, listen, I do my best. I know Ubisoft kind of sucks a lot of the time, but I do my best to not buy... I talk about this on stream. Do my best to not buy games from bad companies, but I want a good single-player pirate experience. And Assassin's Creed 4 is pretty close. However, you cannot, like, walk around your ship as it sails from location to location. So, and that's a killer for me. I'm sorry. I want to admire the open seas as my ship sails along it. You know? That's what I'd like. A big, almost Breath of the Wild-esque map with islands to explore. And my crew. And maybe I can invite another real person on there, but I shouldn't have to. And again, if Sea of Thieves was like, we will confirm that we will be doing an offline mode. You can opt into, so that way when the servers go offline, you can still play Sea of Thieves. Then I wouldn't worry about that. But I can't count on that happening, so I won't count on it happening. And sure, the end goal is to just get my own real pirate ship. But besides the fact that I won't be able to be on a pirate ship every day. I mean, I could if I lived there. My Spotify, behave yourself. Besides the fact that I won't be able to go out sailing every day. In fact, it would probably only be select days I could sail anywhere. Then I'd also want a simulated experience I could enjoy. Especially since it's more likely I'll be able to afford a $60 game sometime in the future rather than a however expensive sailboat. I don't know if I talked about this on stream, but honestly, at this point, I'm just kind of looking to get like a well-made trailer and porch in the woods somewhere with internet and, you know, different amenities. And just have that be my hobbit hole. Hey, if stream can get me to a place where I'm able to afford that and whatever the upkeep charges are on it for a month, then society will rarely see Dylan Cahill again. They won't get much of a chance to. You know, I will disappear into the woods. I don't know how much it costs to buy a sizable plot of land in the woods and then get like Wi-Fi, electricity, and plumbing set up there. Probably a decent amount, but I would imagine still that plus a trailer and porch are still less expensive than a house over time, as well as like also just building a house from the ground up in a similar method. Oh, wow. Okay, Siri, decide. That better not have paused stream. We good? Okay. I'm gonna turn it. It was way too cold in here before, but I let up the AC, and now it's far too hot. So we're about to pump this sucker down. Everyone watch the puppy for me. I'm gonna step away. Where are the lights in here? Because it is getting the sunset. Yeah, that'll do. That's good enough for light. Nope. Okay, I'm back. I'm back proper in front of Twitch. I'm back on twitch.tv/lewdlime. And no one can stop me this time. Yeah. So depending on what chat wants, on the August mega stream we might be doing a big we might be doing like a mega sized collab stream, a mega sized art stream, a mega sized Bloodborne stream. It'll really depend. It's up to you guys. Use your power to vote. That's right, American Twitch chatters exclusively. It's time for you to use your powers to vote. Do people in the UK vote? Like, they do, right? Because that's, like, Parliament and everything. I feel like I only ask because I feel like there's much more of an uproar at the Queen's passing than I even expected. And I'm sorry to say that to anyone who was really into the Queen, but... Like, you know... it's just... Y'all went through a lot for that. Like, I expected some tragedy because she was old. She was old and the Queen. So some people were absolutely gonna be bummed about that no matter which way you sliced it. But like y'all changed your national anthem. Y'all did a bunch of so much. Honestly. And that's fine. But it also made me think about how I probably don't know how your government works, actually. I feel like I've made assumptions for a long time. So, but again, that's me. Listen, if you like living in Britain, good on you. It's not my first place to move, but I wouldn't knock against a visit there. I mean, any place I'd want to move, I'd have to visit first, you know? Get a good idea of the place. Even places I'd be like, yes, that seems good as is. I'd still be like, I gotta go check it out for a while. I hate living there. Too much rain. I don't mind the rain. I like rain, actually, so... If I could find a new place. I feel like, if anything, my problem would be, like, I like vast wildernesses. You know? And I know there's definitely, like, big bits of land in England, but it's a small island with an incredibly long history. And lots of towns built all over it, so... That'd be my part, is where it's just like, no, give me the wildernesses. Yeah, cyber stage. I need to look into a good way to play Sonic Adventure on stream. Remember when we did the Sonic Adventure 2 mega stream? And I got really upset at No, it was the Knuckles stage after Pumpkin Hill. That was it. Y'all remember that? I remember that. Well, guess what? We're probably going back to that at some point in the nearest future. Because I want to get ready, and when I mentioned marathoning Sonic games, they were like, do the adventure games. Specifically, what we're going to do is I'm going to stream the adventure games on a special Dreamcast cough. And then I'm going to see if I can get my hands on a copy of Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog for Xbox. And then we're going to stream Shadow the Hedgehog. Because heck yeah, I want to stream Shadow the Hedgehog. It looks wild. Shadow the Hedge Frog. I like Shadow the Hedge Fraud. He's the fastest croaker in the West. He's hopping mad and indifferent to the ideas of good and evil. Frogger? I think you're the hedge frog around here. The edgy clockwork. I will specifically, of course, be playing the Shadow the Hedgehog game. That the story route that requires us to see Charmy the Bee as much as possible. If there we will not miss 1 second of Charmy content. So help me. Also, hi Pig. I love how one of the things I give credit for is out of all the weird modes they decide to put in the adventure games, I was like, oh, the gamma section of the game actually looks really cool. You could make this into something like real neat, you know, running along and blasting something. And then they did do that in Sonic Adventure 2. It's just they made the world's worst fucking sound design. I don't care what edgy YouTube essayists say. I think Super Mario 64 has aged like a fine wine, but Sonic Adventure, it makes me question why anyone decided to do that in the first place. And you could say, well, Cahill, you know, Sonic Team is always being rushed and shot in the foot by Sega. And I'd say, yes, but wouldn't that mean they wouldn't have any sound design? Wouldn't the simplest way to rush sound design simply be don't have sound in more places? And meanwhile, they found a way to have constant sound. Constant, the worst sound. And John Sega came over to one of his interns' offices in the 90s to be like, hey, my guy, so people did end up liking Sonic Adventure 1, at least enough that we are making a sequel. So, like, what's your, like, you know, what's like what you got so far for the Tails levels of this game? And his intern said, well, sir, we don't have you haven't given us a lot of development time here at Sega, but we have decided that it will be the world's worst fucking sound. Sometimes, no, constantly. Tails' machine will always be making the worst fucking sound known to man. God save us all. And he was like, you know what? That sounds great. Print it. He was like, did you get any of, like, you know, did you do any design for, like, the Knuckles? No. We haven't worked on Knuckles at all this entire time. We spent 2 out of the 3 weeks you gave us for development on this particular Sonic game, which is, of course, the norm here at Sega, to make the worst noise imaginable for Tails the Fox. And they said, neato. Oh, isn't Eggman also, like, the same style of gameplay? Yes, he has the exact same worst possible sound. Fantastic. I see a bright future for three-dimensional hedgehogs. All we have is a picture of a hedgehog. You know, my first exposure to the adventure games was Game Grumps. And obviously that's not the best first exposure to have. They really take that game to task when they played it all those years ago. But I still do recognize it's just charming. But granted, I also think the CDI Zelda games have some charm to them too, so the bar is low. I saw a thing online the other day about how, like, people like Cinema Wins, which is apparently an entirely separate account from Cinema Sins. And that guy had mentioned how he's like, well, every movie is someone's favorite movie. So we're just trying to see why that is. Yeah. Just looking at Zelda's Adventure, I could have told you, like, this seems soulless. But you know, like, I feel that way seeing a lot of stuff online. I'm just like, there is good stuff to this. It's not all bad, as much as we all love our hyperboles and whatnot. This isn't actually 100% awful. Like, unless you're Zelda's Adventure. I will pray to the Lord above. No one who genuinely adores Sekiro watches my Sekiro playthrough. But I hope they watch it long enough to know I earnestly mean that if you love Sekiro, I have the most amount of respect for you. Because I recognize it's made well. I just have problems with how it's designed in a lot of places. But if you're like, no, I'm good at this, I can play the game well, I enjoy playing it, and I love this game, good for you. You're better than I at video games, at video games. Never forget that. Never forget how good you are at video games. You know what would help? A pillow behind my back. I need a back brace, honestly. Pig, you're old. Do you have bone correctors? I love video games. I love video gigolos. I love how cinematic. There's the word. I love how cinematic they make the whole gigolo experience. I, Dylan Cahill, love the gigolo experience. There's a sound clip for you. Put that on your podcast soundboard, why don't you? Put that on your trigger fire, why don't you? I won't. Okay. Video jiggles. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's something I felt bad about, honestly, a bit. I don't regret playing Sekiro on stream. If anything, the fact that some people saw at least some of the criticisms I had, I hope no one hates it because of me. But the fact some people were like, yeah, I see what you mean here, Cahill. Like, that was nice. But other than that, it's just, you know, I'm bad at it. It makes for the funnies. It makes for the ha-has. It wasn't actually, despite all video evidence to the contrary, there was nothing actually challenging about the run. I was just bad at it in such a way that doing it a lot meant there was a lot of video evidence of me failing. So there's always that. That's great. You know what they say. 10,000 hours makes you even worse at a thing that you didn't want to do before. Oh, I have completely. And totally. It's wrong layer, but it's wrong layer in a way that's fun. And we love to watch you fail. They're fucking preying on my downfall out here. You should see them. That was the caption I put to the clip of Juice laughing at me during Hades. Because Juice loves nothing more than to see me just fuck up. Yeah. But yeah. Again, I hope everyone's having a good day. I genuinely, I don't know how much I say it on stream. I'm so desperate to make streaming like a career for me. Because I got scheduled, not necessarily a lot, but just that little extra during work this week. And I'm just like, man, I'd love to not spend any time at this place where they have to actually pay me to stand around. So, in fact, I'm just only kind of making minimum wage as is, so. But that's why I appreciate all y'all's support. You get me closer to an impossible dream every day. And it's fun to watch Sisyphus roll that ball up a hill. You know? I am Sisyphus. Online creations are my ball. Watch me roll. Should it be 2 frames or 1 frame? Honestly, it might just be better being 1. He takes the pose real quick and blasts off. I watched a Sisyphus stream with the boulder. The boulder has conflicting feelings about punishing an ancient Greek king. The boulder is over his conflicted emotions. Wait. Okay. I'll try. Oh! I love Persona 5. Is that Johnny Test? Big, don't insult the person. Don't bring the specter of Johnny Test to the person I'm doing commissions for, please. Do I? Damn it. Let me go back to Discord real quick. Scroll up. Up, scrolled. I'm working on a commission for the people who make this comic. Make sure you give it a chance. You can also see where fucking... you can also see the first animation I did for them there. That's the they put the link for my eye catcher for the thing I made for them before they put the link to the comic in the thing. So everyone be very nice. I want everyone to put their best suits on, okay? We're getting dressed to go to church today. We're gonna go see Nana afterwards and have a very nice dinner. Y'all gotta behave yourselves. Honestly, I think a lot of art and design is pretty dang good in that comic. As well as, like, you know, I've only read a bit of the story, but I like the concept. They've talked about it being inspired by, like, One Piece and everything. So, shonen-esque, but made more in the line of a Saturday cartoon. Very neato. So again, be nice. You know, I realize I only, like, when I was describing that situation of going to grandma's after church and everything, I never did that in particular, but I did stuff like it a lot with my family. And for the most part, that just meant my day would be kind of boring. But I realize people have more, like, strongly negative emotions about that kind of stuff based on their relationship with their family. I'm sorry about that. We can, you know what? If that's you, we can all have a family dinner together some other time. Not with them, with us. Let's get some turkey and some green beans going up in this bitch. Get me some sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes. I love me a sweet potato. Can I make dessert? You can make dessert, Pig. Everyone remind me if I ever announce any kind of panel or event for streaming to bring a fully cooked chicken or turkey to the event. Just for you guys. have a party all around. Meringue pie. Pig, we can share. I mean, we have a largely overlapping audience. So yeah, we can like do a double panel, and I'll bring the chicken, you bring the meringue pie. Your juice will bring the juice, which is of course cocaine. Just sprinkle it in a little bit of everything. Make sure we get a real party going. A real family party. I think I'm gonna go for one. In between this pose and that pose, because I really don't think it'll benefit that much from me. You know. I don't think it'll benefit from more frames that much that would mandate the work. Billy and Mandate, which is a new educational show about how evil the lawmaking system in America is. Tune in on Saturdays. They're still friends with the Grim Reaper. So, he's just like not the focus. Mostly the American legal system. So that's cool. I need to go get a charger for my phone. Everyone stay right there. Where'd I put my... Oh, there's my water. About to say. Everyone be good. Don't burn the place down. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm back. I was mandated to pet the bubby, of course, before I continued on. So Bubby was pet. Also, I love how my idea for the so far I've made one Spotify playlist to make to play on stream and everything, with what I hope is copyright free music, right? Want a break from the ads, and I was like, and you know, if I upload it to YouTube and there's a problem there, I'll just change out whatever songs caused that. But I'm here playing it again, and I have not uploaded that first one to YouTube. that I played it on. So I guess if there is a bad apple, if a bad apple anime song, if there is a bad egg amongst these songs, then I'll find out. Then there'll be just like a batch of 3 streams, in fact, before I start uploading them to YouTube. I was describing to someone in personal life the other day. I was like, listen, if I can make streaming a full-time gig, because y'all are so ridiculously supportive. I could, like, I mean, Pig mentioned it on stream yesterday about how, like, it just means I have quote-unquote good viewer retention or whatever. But if that scaled upwards with more people, then I can only imagine, like, how that would go. And I was saying, if I could make streaming a full-time thing, and I would literally be doing it. I would take it as seriously as a 9 to 5, but I'd actually enjoy it this time, as opposed to just always wanting to die every time, you know, every time I go into work. But you know, listen, if I don't have another job besides streaming, like, what else am I gonna do? Spend time with family and friends? Disgusting. Repulsive. No. I have to monetize my life on the internet. That's the only way to do it. Man. Honestly, I mean, I am glad I've never gotten into people who do. I'm glad I've never gotten into the world of vlogging and vloggers, because sometimes it's just weird. Because it's not like games and stuff. Those people are literally just like, this is my life, pay me for that, and it's and we have seen before the kind of toll that can take on people and families. Not to get. I was trying to do that more sarcastic, but it is true, and that got more bummer than I thought. Oops. But regardless, it just kind of ends up, you know, Pig. It just ends up being wild. Just monetize you playing games, you know? Worst you can happen is you stop liking games. And then what? You're gonna read? You're gonna read books like a nerd? Good. You should probably start, you know, getting caught up on history. And then the fucking classics of literature that inform us about the human experience. Through writing. I feel like one of my friends has said before, like, history shouldn't be a subject in school. We don't need that, but I kind of vehemently disagree. I think math after a certain point is unnecessary, especially towards the end of high school, where now you're just doing theoretical maths, and it's just like, why do I need to know theoretical maths? And the answer is you don't. And like, but history, the more you know about history, the more it kind of can help you inform you about why the world is the way it is today, and how you can go about fixing it. I'm gonna play a video game specifically about reading books. I'm trying to think. Is there? I mean, there's Skyrim. You can play Skyrim and just read all the books in it, you know. Honestly, if I ever managed to open like a game studio as part of Cahill Comics, which I would not be opposed against in the slightest, or do my best to be a good director, but I'm definitely not a coding guy. But regardless, if I was able to do something like that, I would definitely want to make like kind of like a Souls-like, and You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about collecting items to get all the lore and stuff like that. But if you want to know the history, you better be ready to sit down in the library part of the game and read some of the books available. Like, we just stopped sugarcoating it, you know? You're trying to collect fucking Malthazar's sword so you can learn about why you gotta kill him in toilet area number 6. But no, in this game, you're gonna read Malthazar's autobiography, you know? You're really gonna find out about the guy. And they wrote a scathing report about him in the New York Times. And that's probably why you gotta go kick his ass in toilet area number 6. So remember that. I should ask someone what they would think of that, because I've heard people be like, I don't like how they present the lore in those games, and I'm like, that's valid. Because I can't pretend I haven't mostly just ended up watching Vadi Vidya to get most of that experience, more so than actually seeking out the items and reading it. Also, it doesn't help that the game doesn't tell you that, because Souls games don't tell you anything. So freaking, why are you supposed to stop and pay attention to the last bit of an item description when you pick it up in the world? The answer is because now you know why you have to kill an orphan, but you didn't realize that. No one ever thinks about why they have to kill the orphan. They just know they have to. I was joking about that just because I'm like, a lot of FromSoft bosses are sad when you learn about them. But then I realized, no, there is actually an orphan boss in literally my favorite FromSoft game. Oops. Oopsie poodle. Can you extinct a family? You know what I'm saying? I guess that's just murder. Huh. It's not really extinction as much as you just killed people. So. Oops again. You burned my house to the ground! My family's dead! My name is Skylar White. Yo. Yeah. My husband is Walter White. Yo. He told me everything. So, not only have I always been more interested in Better Call Saul than Breaking Bad, but I heard apparently it was supposed to at one point be a comedy. But the writers didn't really know much about comedy, so they just kind of made it another drama series, which, I mean, you know what? Fair enough. That's fine. But again, that honestly just makes me more interested in it at that point. I don't know if I said it on stream as much as I said it personally, but when you can summarize your series as bad people do bad things, I don't like that. I'm just listen. That exists in real life. This is so niche. I've seen TikToks of, I was literally saying on yesterday's stream about just like, I gotta stop just recounting TikToks, but this is important for my personal history, so just listen up. But like, it's TikToks and it's like recreating the Philly news, and it's like, a child of 6 burned down a house with people in it the other day, and that is not inaccurate. You will just hear the wildest stuff happen when you're watching the news in Philly. And growing up in the suburbs close to Philly, like, that's where the news was coming from. So you were just always hearing about it. I'm sure there's lots of different towns who get the Philly news stations and can verify that wild stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's the same in New York, but like, that's not better. That's also close to Jersey. Both major cities relatively close to where I live are just always up to wild stuff and insane things in the news. But again, that's why I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to watch the movie where everyone is bad and bad things happen. I don't get tired of happy endings because I don't get them when I'm not watching movies. So. I like a happy ending. I like it when the heroes get a happy ending. I like it when the emo boy with a scar on his eye gets redeemed and makes friends. And goes on to have a healthy family life after helping take down his dictator dad. Should we call you Dick or Mr. Tater? I forget, were we doing that on call last night? Regardless, I started doing that in part because I learned that hippos use echolocation to find food underwater. And fucking, that's wild. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Because beluga whales, the big jelly thing on top of their head, which makes them extra adorable, that is specifically to help feel those echoes in the echolocation. And hippos kind of have that because they got the big mouth, you know. It's almost like that in and of itself is kind of like an echo chamber. So again, it kind of makes sense. But you don't think about it. You don't think, you should be capable of echolocation. Clearly. Clearly the murder fridge should be capable of this feature. That's really what I've said many times, hippos go so fast from cute to murder. The biggest cute to murder animal ratio is hippos. As equally cute as they are deadly. And usually in movies, when they go for that, they make like a hairy little fluff ball with big old eyes. And then it opens its mouth and it's full of sharp teeth. You know, that trope. But in reality, that's not what it is. In reality, the thing that is equally cute and deadly is like a smooth, hairless pig with flappy ears. I love those things. I am, thinking about it. I am interested. And don't look it up. This is don't look this up. I'm telling you right now, without knowing a thing about it, this is an awful thing to look up. How do hippo deaths happen? Pig, how do hippo deaths happen?
You mean how do hippos kill?
No. I mean, kind of. I have a good idea of how hippos kill, right?
Oh, how do hippos die?
No, not that either. I'm saying, shouldn't people know where the hippos are and just avoid them altogether?
They're surprisingly quiet.
They are. I mean, but do they not just stick in kind of one place for a lot of the time? Like, shouldn't
They're quick too. They're very quick.
I get that, but I'm just questioning why people are even within running distance of a hippo. If I'm being real with you.
Hippos. Okay, this might surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
Hippos live near water.
Yes.
Humans consume water.
Uh-huh.
Are you beginning to see where the problem might occur?
consume different water?
Okay. Frequently not an option.
Wait, but okay. So forgive my ignorance, but don't allow. I was literally just gonna hop in and out to do the bit. But also, don't hippos literally typically live in places like a savanna or something, like something with ironically not that much water? Or am I mistaken there? Like they live in like ponds and stuff.
They live in rivers.
They live in rivers. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, that's definitely harder to avoid at that point. Get a big enough river, and there's bound to be hippos and people somewhere along it. Okay. Thanks, pig. Bye.
I hope I've solved your problems.
Kind of. I just wanted to ask him. I just wanted to know if he knew. I mean, I get it, but again, as someone who's a big Shark fan, which apparently Shark Week is this week, but fucking, I have not been home to watch Shark Week in countless years at this point. It's kind of disturbing. At this point in time, you could look up when Shark Week is going to be and message me being like, Cahill, are you not going to be home on the dates of X and Y? And I'd be like, yeah, how'd you know that? And they'll be like, Shark Week is that week. And I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Because that's literally how it happens. So I love sharks still. I just haven't watched the Discovery show about them for a while now. But regardless, you know, it's pretty easy to... People are like, shark here, do not go. And they bring the death. That brings the death down into like the single digits yearly. Hippos, it almost seems, are like seeking out people. I'm not blaming the people. I imagine a lot of people know how deadly hippos are at some point. If you live in a place with hippo deaths, in the thousands especially, then you're bound to be like, yeah, don't mess with hippos. So at that point, I have to believe the hippos are seeking the people out, which is a disturbing thought. I'm just saying, hippo thoughts, you know? I might make that hippo thing with pig a clip, but I'll ask his permission first, especially since I dragged him into it. I'm not gonna be like, a clip of that. No, I did a bit where I literally intruded upon a friend. What do I look like? A YouTube prank channel? I'm not out here unjustly, you know, getting people for my content. I just realized this line should not be here. I like doing that because, like, especially when you have a cartoony hand, you know, you're flubbing the anatomy for the sake of ease to draw and recognizability. So I just kind of add that almost to suggest like wrinkles and knuckles, just like by just putting a little line there, because you know, you look at your hand with the fingers bent in some way, and there's a little ridge or something there. So at that point, I'm just like, time to put nipples the enchilada into my drawing. Okay, do you think I have the time in my day to go out of my way and be like, okay, I got this looking, here's a hand, gotta draw the knuckle now, just like, and then just really round it, so, and then highlight here, more cross hatching, okay. You know, should try and suggest like the thing right there, another ridge right there, and then just, and of course you gotta get the web, the evolutionary web in between there. The knuckle right next to it, and then the finger just looks like this. Okay, do you think I'm trying to do that? You think I'm trying to do all that work? And then it's like the finger looks like that, but you're still just like, okay. Gotta do the knuckle up above it, which isn't really a solid shape as much as it is just loose skin folds and everything. And then let's make sure we get that finger right there. Yeah, that's a finger. Like all this detail. The finger fucking looks like a wiener. A hot dog. Hot dogs here. Get your hot dogs here. I love a good Frank. Was it on stream where someone was just like, Cahill, this is how hot dogs are made in the 1920s? It might have been. Listen, I stand by my reasoning of just like, if it tastes good and is not legitimately just like fully messing up my body, then it's fine. I would argue that chances are whatever meat is in a hot dog, it is more so the processes the meat is put through that does damage to your body, rather than the weird sort of meat in there itself. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you deep fry it enough, it's probably not going to be great for you. You're not really giving whatever animal you're putting in there a fair shot when it comes to looking like a good food source. I don't know how many animals are concerned about how they look as a food source. Flowers, probably. Like flowers and fruit. You know. Trying to get their seeds spread across the land. So they're like, come on. Eat up. Come get some, the fixins are good. Meanwhile, I don't like most foods, so they have a hard time. If more things had autism, then plants would have a much harder time. They'd be like, damn it. We all basically just have to evolve the same fruit. They only eat the one thing. Granted, that might just be a picky eater thing. This is what I'm talking about. It's always important to realize not everything is prescribed to any one certain way your brain is. Sometimes some things are just because you're quirky like that. And I am so quirky. That was sarcasm. I figured. I honestly, I would so. It's so weird because of the things I'd be embarrassed about on the internet. I'd much prefer the gigolo comment be around than me calling myself quirky. Weird to think about. But it's probably just because, you know. You know? Oh, this is the collar I'm looking for. Black and white. Bum, bump. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Thump. Yeah. I also love the jazzy soundtrack to Persona 5. I mean, I talked about it before. About how I love Persona 5 for having such a strong aesthetic direction. Similar to how, like, MGS3 has a good one. Where it's just... You're just basically playing through a James Bond film. That's neat. I can't imagine what it was like having played the first two MGSs alone, which is not necessarily an experience I have a lot of. And then just going into MGS3, because it's a prequel, and it's not really as sci-fi. It's more focused on like you know, old-timey gadgets and stuff like that. Wild to think of. Also, yeah, let me merge layers because this is getting annoying. A lamp just turned on. This house got those automatically timed lamps. Oh, I also need to merge these layers. I see. Okay, I'm kind of put in a weird spot here. Sometimes it's hard to make things look like they're, they exist. In animation, things don't exist, They're fake. You gotta convince people they're real. You gotta make people think, oh, that looks like it should. Like it would. Because it's real. Hard balance to strike. But now it's time for but enough about me. Stardust Speedway. That's all the time I have. I've got to get back to playing Stardust Speedway on Spotify. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Break it down. Honestly, the Buppy is being much better for me as I'm streaming than I expected, so that's nice. Dog just kind of hanging out. Okay, everyone's going on to, not to talk about current events too much, but after the fool, everyone's going on to Blue Sky, so maybe I should look into that. Especially since I heard a certain other thing was not all it was cracked up to be. It's so hard to tell, Honestly, that's what I was thinking about, though, because I feel like so long as... Well, it's really hard to say, because there hasn't been much like the internet before. Like, with the sum total of human knowledge and yada yada yada. That, like... And so much of it made because people were just like, this seems like a good idea, and put it where everyone could get access to it. That's hard to say, like, if you could ever really, like, ruin, quote-unquote, something forever. Because even if you ruin, like, one version of something, people would still be like, well, I liked it before it was ruined, so let's just make it again and not ruin it this time. You get what I'm saying? Like, at some point, people will just make it again. But hopefully better. Fingers crossed. And that's what I'm thinking about. Is like, it'll never again be the. It's not like there's one fucking grocery store in this town, so you better get along with the owners, or else you don't get groceries. Nah. Everyone in the world has access to this. I mean, asterisk, because, you know, extenuating circumstances. But in theory, people have access to it. Most people, so you can't, like, trap. It takes a lot more effort to, I guess, trap people into being like, this is your only option for X. Because eventually, if you do a bad enough job, then people will just be like, actually, I think we're just all going to move at the same time. And if that happens, then, you know, they're really boned. But that's why I'm like, it's more fun to watch than anything else. I don't think it's that big of a disaster. Like, it sucks stuff gets kind of messed around with, but at the same time, it's just like, oh well. Someone's already made a new thing. We can all move on. And I feel like that's almost a better... I don't want to say experience, but practice, I guess? A better practice than in real life, where you can kind of physically trap people into certain things. Being just like, too bad for you. I've destroyed all the other barbershops in this town. You can only get your hair cut by me now. Which is a Dr. Doofenshmirtz level kind of scheme, but I know I feel in my bones. Ah, okay, I see. Yes, okay. I got confused by my own onion skins. But yeah, in my bones, I know something like that's happened. That's the problem with me. I'm so deer in headlights when it comes to pointing to evidence of stuff in real life or in general. I typically need to, like, memorize or otherwise have reference in front of me to point to specific things. Because without that, I'm just like, oh, I forget. You know what I'm talking about, though, and then the person I'm talking to with, it's just like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You can't think of an example, so it didn't happen. And it's just like, it did. I'm just trying to be like, how do I date and time this? It's on the tip of your tongue. Which, I mean, enough stuff gets on the tip of people's tongue that I'm starting to think the tip is pretty big. If we're being honest. People say that so much. How big's your tip, people? Don't. Wait. Stop. Stop. I'm just a little tired. Honestly. Yesterday's stream was pretty fun, but before I had a lot of socializing. So. And then, you know, today I got up and I was basically running around getting ready to stay at this place for a bit to watch Puppy. So with that in mind, it's like, I've been doing some stuff. On occasion, you can catch me, you know, moving around. Which, I know, disgusting as it may sound, does happen from time to time. I am forced to change location and interact with people. Unthinkable for most of you. To me, a lot of the time. But it's true. I added unthinkable to me because I was like, I'm not trying to insult people. I'm literally just saying I'm an introvert. and making a joke about how, oh, isn't interaction just the pits? It's fine. Get a good person that you can actually like mesh with for a bit. Interaction can be okay. It's always just, you know, the easier said than done bit of that. I keep forgetting when I'm working on Wednesday. So I have off tomorrow, but then I'm working 4 days, and a lot of them are longer shifts, as I said. I forgot I was already talking about that. But, I mean, you know, silver lining. I don't like saying this a lot, because I feel like it's overused, if anything. A lot of people will be like, but yeah, but the money. And I'm like, the money's not enough. At some point, I actually just want to be enjoying the time I'm spending. You know? Wild to think about. But at some point, the money's not enough. You gotta give me a bit more. That's actually... Man, I wish... Honestly, the only downside I have personally had so far living in the state I live in, God bless Jersey, is winter. Because I like working at, like, amusement parks and stuff. And I was thinking about maybe I should apply to one. But if they're closed in the freaking winter, then... if I'm not getting work during the winter, then that's a problem. Maybe I could look into different places that might be open. Well, there's only like 2 anywhere near me that I could apply to. One I know closes for months on end, so that won't work. The other I really shouldn't expect better of, but I'll look into it. That's what I've thought before, because I was like, I want my own. End goal of my entire making comics thing and stuff like that is hopefully... maybe one day see if I could possibly get an amusement park. And I'd be like, a large part of it gets indoors. Operate all seasons. Would be cool. I don't know if I talked about this on stream, but if you look at a picture of what the actual building housing the Haunted Mansion ride looks like in Disney, it's huge. And thinking about that, it's like, if I want a good dark ride, which is the technical term for stuff like that in Pirates of the Caribbean, I love dark rides. I think a good dark ride will always be better than most thrill rides, because you can have exciting parts in a dark ride, but in a thrill ride it kind of always has to be going fast and pumping the adrenaline. So it doesn't give you as much time to appreciate whatever kind of set dressing they make. But anyway, if I wanted a dark ride attached to the inside part of an amusement park, then it would kind of have to be like imagine if Cinderella Castle in the Magic Kingdom was in like the back corner, you know? Like this large monument, and part of it is sticking out the back of the park, so that way no one has to see the massive ride mechanism it's hiding. But you know, it is fine, but it's something to think about. Being like, it's gotta be laid out this way, so that way the theming stays intact. And that's why I was thinking about the one amusement park around here, because I was like, I saw pictures of it for the first time in forever, and I was like, man, that actually looks like fucking good theming. And I appreciate that more than any amount of thrill rides. Because you have good theming, then you can also just have thrill rides, and they look cool now. Congratulations. You've made your place even better to hang around. spend time inside of. And again, I just value that kind of the most when thinking about any kind of like amusement place. Amusement place. That's a new term for it. But I'm trying to think what's a attraction? I guess attraction would be the best word. That's usually what you think of when you're talking about rides in a park, but at the end of the day, it is an attraction for the place it is located. If you build a park in a town that didn't have any before, then it becomes an attraction for the town. People start coming in to see it. I'm literally just we're becoming Merriam-Webster on stream. Which is always fun. Define stuff with Cahill. Boom. I do not like... I don't know if I've said this. I don't like Flying Battery, the level to play through in a Sonic game. I do love Flying Battery, the OST. that happens every now and then. You know? Banging soundtrack. Less good level design. I just feel like, I don't know. It's a Sonic level where at one point they just kind of throw you outside. Where you will inevitably fall off the cliff. Fall into the chasmless abyss. So in that regard, I'm like, can we go back to Chemical Plant, please? Flying Battery, outside of Mania, Flying Batteries in 3 and Chemical Plants in 2. I forgot what zones those are in. That's why I'm really excited for Superstars, because hopefully so long as it still has a decent physics engine for the running and shit, then an entirely original 2D Sonic game, including more like upgraded graphics than Mania, which was specifically trying to emulate the older ones. Like, he looks insane here, but I'm kind of listen. If you commission an animator and then go through each frame being like, this one looks weird, it's like, listen, some of them are gonna look weird. Yeah, it happens. The purpose is to create good motion. We're not here to... Oh, oops. That looks worse. We're not here to start everything over. Oh my god. Sal, you are the commission. Okay. Sal, can I just say, I genuinely really appreciate your patience. I could not foresee a bunch of life stuff happening after I move, but I really hope you enjoy the eye catchers I managed to do for you, because honestly they're fun to work on, and I do like your comic. And I'm not just flattering you publicly to be like, I'm sorry. I'm genuinely being like, you've been a chill dude, and also you've been very exact with what you want, and that probably helped. That's better than just being like, yes, it's good, don't even worry about it. It's like, no, tell me. Tell them. And I said that. Well, you'll never know what I've said, Sal. You'll never know the secrets unearthed during that ad. I was literally just like basically complimenting you. Sing us a shanty. I gotta wind down. It's like Spotify if I'm gonna sing a shanty. Also, Sal, hear me out. If you're gonna have a bunch of kids running around with water pistols, give me one pirate themed one, like just one with like a water flintlock, which works the exact same as the other ones. It just looks like a flintlock, because love me a pirate gunslinger. As I continue to work, gotta work some stuff out. Also, Sal, I will brief you on one thing, as uh, as I continue to work, which is basically you're just gonna assume this ready stance, vibrate a little, and then poosh, like you said, like the storyboard says. Okay, shanty time though. I gotta think. I gotta ready myself up. Come all ye young fellows who follow the sea, way hey blow the man down, and pray pay attention and listen to me. Give me some time to blow the man down. I'm a deep water sailor just in from Hong Kong. Way hey blow the man down. If you buy me a drink, then I'll sing you a song. Give me some time to blow the man down. Blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. Way hey, blow the man down. Blow him right back into Liverpool town. Give me some time to blow the man down. There's tinkers and tailors and soldiers and all. Way hey, blow the man down. They all ship for sailors aboard the Black Ball. Give me some time to blow the man down. You'll see those poor devils, how they will all scoot. Way hey, blow the man down, assisted along by the toe of a boot. Give me some time to blow the man down. Blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. Way hey, blow the man down. Blow him right back into Liverpool town. Give me some time to blow the man down. Blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. Way hey, blow the man down. Blow him right back into Liverpool town. Give me some time to blow the man down. I apologize, Paul. That was me actually not reading your message. I'm sorry. Also, I don't know that one. I will say, I mean, we can just use. I don't know if I gave a description for the sound booth channel in the Discord, but that is meant to be for. Yeah, I love that. Listen, I like that part of the song, Sal. I like way hey blow the man down, but the sound booth is meant to be for song suggestions on in the Discord and everything. And with that in mind, yeah, there's not even a description. I like to put some Discord descriptions in there because, let people know what's going on. But that if you want to suggest like pirate themed songs and be like, is this a shanty? Then I can say yes or no. And if the answer is yes, then I'll do my best to memorize it. The street. Oh, that. Oh, wait, that. Stream is not end it. Wend it? No, ended. How dare internet? I have refreshed. That's good. Well, Paul, if my voice reaches you, I was saying, if you want to use the sound booth to suggest pirate theme songs, and be all like, does this count? Then I can be like yes or no, and then do my best to memorize it. I mean, there is the one guy on, I believe it's TikTok. It might just be like socials in general, where he rewrites songs into inappropriate genres, and he's done shanties before, talking about how the major thing is like a call and response. And that's definitely important, but obviously you can't just give me any call and response song and be like a shanty. So also, preferably nautical theme, something, something generally labeled as a shanty, but also it's important it has that, because people make like new shanties And yeah, I think this will be good. I will have to change his hair because the Vegeta-esque hair, which looks good when you're like standing and moving around a bit, but if you do go flying, it should be slicked back even further. So I'll remember that. Also, I love how it looked like I was doing nothing. Not sure it's an actual shanty. Well, I mean, hey, if it's copyright free, then I can just play it on stream at that point. There can be multiple purposes to that channel. One, if there's a song you like that might be a shanty and it is copyright free, then I will either memorize to sing it or play it on stream. Either one works. I don't know. I could always see if I could make a shanty playlist. Be like, free domain shanties. Where are you at? Well, yeah. So, I'm taking a little. No one tell Sal. It's a good thing he's not here. I'm taking a little shortcut here. I mean, this is how they animate in the professional industry anyway, so it's whatever. But usually, when I'm doing my 1920s rubber hose, copyrighted. Dang it. Well, then hopefully it's a shanty and I'll memorize it. But usually when I'm doing like my 1920s style cartoons, I do my best to at least, if I'm repeating a frame, I do my best to like redraw it at least twice, so that way it gives the kind of squiggly impression, the wrong layer, kind of like squiggly impression. You know, because like human error will mean that even if I try to draw the same straight line again, I'll deviate a bit. And the best way to emulate those old feelings is to just redraw the stuff at least one more time, because since they couldn't copy and paste, they would just redraw it, meaning there'd be some deviation, and it would almost look like the characters were breathing. I don't catch you. Don't worry, Sal. On a serious note, not cheating as a professional animator. I'm cheating as a Cahill, but. But obviously, in modern animation, you don't have to do that. You don't have to redraw still frames to make a character look like that because you're using a computer, so it's whatever. And with that in mind, I am trying to make Sal's comms look like they are more kind of professional Hollywood looking. And with that in mind, I will just be making this character pose one way as he flies through the air, and then when I need him to move, I will zoom him across the screen. And that's just how, I mean, there is that. I have not watched Bluey, and if I'm being honest, I don't have any intentions to watch Bluey. There's a lot of other shows I should watch before I watch a children's show, a small children's show rather. But I did see the one bit where they made a joke about him being a cartoon, and you can see they're just kind of dragging pre-drawn assets around. I mean, that's puppet animation technically, and you're like, but isn't that Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, guess what? In the digital age, there's puppet animation in 2D. Where you just draw everything once, and when you need the characters to move, you just drag it around. Good puppet animation will make, like, because you're just like, oh, so it looks super flat? No. Good puppet animators will spend extensive time drawing incredibly minor details, almost like a VTuber, so that way as they drag stuff around and everything. The clip you're talking about, I'm terrified already. Oh, the Bluey one, that one. I thought you meant a clip of my stream, and I was like, what did I do? But yeah, a good puppet. I say good, but honestly, it can just depend on the style. If they don't want you to realize it's puppet animation, then they will draw lots of things, and then the payoff to that will be they don't have to worry about redrawing anything ever. They'll just use a bunch of like computer commands and click and drags to make stuff work and happen. And I would argue Bluey falls under the latter there. Like, I didn't realize, you know, like, just because I'm not like the biggest in the computer program space rather, I didn't realize like, oh, they're doing puppet animation here. I know it looked flatter, so maybe I could have guessed, but yeah, it makes sense. And also, you could argue almost all CGI animation is puppet animation. They are not remodeling characters one by one to create individual frames of elemental. They are doing it once and then manipulating the model. Also, by the way, I want to say something. And I should have said this at the top of stream because now no one will ever hear this, and I will feel awful about it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the other thing. I feel like I might have made jokes about elemental. I hope that was never, people being like, "Oh, he thinks the film." No, I still don't like the character designs, and I was making some jokes at that. But I have heard some good things about it, and I'm glad learning about the movie that's performed well. I don't know if it's. I've heard it's done very well in Korea. I don't know if it's made a lot of its money here, particularly. But regardless, I'm glad it does well somewhere, because it doesn't matter what market it does well in. Money makes it so that Pixar makes merch of those characters and stuff like that. And just because they used what I consider to be not the greatest designs, doesn't mean that their movie deserves to just be tossed aside. You know what I mean? Tartakovsky. I have a bit... for not having watched much of Gendry Tartakovsky's stuff, I do have a great respect for the man. I should watch Primal, because I haven't watched much of Samurai Jack. And I really don't have any interest in watching the Clone Wars. I did... You know what? I was like, why am I a fan of him again? I forgot he made My Life as a Teenage Robot. And honestly, that should be enough. My Life as a Teenage Robot is good enough in art direction and show quality that you could just leave it at that and just be like, yep, I'm a big fan of that guy. Who made Foster's Home? Because that's the other... Because, like... Gendry Tartakovsky went on to make the final season of Samurai Jack and Primal after, like, his Cartoon Network stint. But who made Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends? Craig McCracken, yes. That guy. Thank you, Sal. Because that was when, because I was still, like, kind of young when Wander Over Yonder came on. And if we're going to talk about things I think are still slightly underrated, Wander's one of them. That show, genuinely, I thought it was hilarious. I was like, good show. Good shit. I loved it. And I still like it. So the fact I found out is like, oh, it's the guy who also made Foster's. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Foster slapped. This show also slaps, like. I adore it. And Kid Cosmic was great too. I forgot. That was because I had heard about that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but I never went on to watch it. I forgot it was him also doing that. Yeah. No. Craig McCracken makes some great kid shows, at least. I mean, I could just end it at great, like, animation, but I do think, because while the stigma is that animation is a child's medium, and that's something a lot of people are always trying to fight against, whether you just have the respect for animation or an animator yourself, it's definitely something people are always trying to be like, no, it can be for anyone. But I also think it's important to recognize when people make good kids media, simply because we live in the age of people like auto-generate 3D cartoons posted on YouTube, and then some parents just sit their kids down and say, that's good. It's like, no, if you're gonna do this to your kid, at least put on a halfway decent kid show. I watched good kid shows as a kid, and now I want to make good shows. Like, do that at least. I don't mean to be rude. You're already kind of taking a shortcut and like I have no talk because I'm not a parent, but still, you're already kind of taking a shortcut, deciding to plop them down in front of something for. And by the way, this is not me ragging on people who do that. Sometimes it's me people who are like, take out your iPad. I'm raising an iPad kid, which sounds like a documentary, but you know. I mean, it kind of goes back to internet stuff where it's like, make sure your kids are watching okay things. At the end of the day, my parents took responsibility for that, and not to kind of drag, my own personal experience into it, but my parents were just like, don't go on the internet at all until I was like 12. Like, I was raised a very long time without any access to the internet. And then I didn't have my own phone for even longer after that. So they were definitely just like, hey, only watch okay things. And honestly, probably was good for me. Because I feel like a lot... I'm trying to tread a little carefully, but at the same time, I feel like you can see what I'm talking about if you just, like watch any YouTuber, and a lot of them will be like, yeah, there's some parents should watch what their kids watch on this site because not all of it's fantastic, and they right. I don't know how to tell you this, but they're right. So I've seen a lot of YouTubers say that, and I am definitely of the opinion that that is the case. Be careful what your kids watch. It is your responsibility. If it's like a movie theater, don't blame the movie theater if you leave your kid alone to watch whatever and they go see an R-rated movie. That one's on you. But maybe I'm too late, to say this. Maybe we all are, because YouTube's already really gunked up the works with that kind of thinking. Worried about what the parents and advertisers will say. What else was I thinking of? I'm not gonna get over. Okay, so very dumb person buys a social media platform for a ludicrous amounts of money, right? And I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Don't click off the stream just yet. As he should be, by all metrics, now interested in recouping that money because it was far too much to spend on the platform. It is now branded like a porn site. There's no way around it. A week ago, if you had typed in the name of the website now, even though I'm not calling it that. No one should call it that. But if you had typed that in to Google a week ago, it would have been a porn site that came up, right? That you're not gonna make money off of that. Unless you're just in that industry now. It's like fair, but you took in a really weird roundabout way to get there. Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm still on it because I have basic marketing knowledge. I've learned about marketing in the past. That's just no. Is it X? Is it X, Sal? Sal, is it X? I don't think I want to. It might affect how I see Mega Man. And I like Mega Man. I like Mega Man. X. Yeah, it's just so wild. That's what I'm saying, right? But that's what okay. Because I'm especially glad to talk to Pig about this. Because this is what I'm saying. I don't mourn the loss of the platform. If anything, it sucks because different creators, like bigger creators who used it for networking and actually getting jobs, that sucks. The platform itself, I don't care really. Which makes it funny to me. Because I'm sad people who legitimately used it for business are now in a real tight spot, but in every other respect, it's just hilarious. Because it's dumb decision after dumb decision. In such a comedy of failures. You know? It's why I was talking about the idea that, like, in a place like the internet, eventually, if you screw up enough, it's never going to be like you can't screw up enough to fail. If you screw up enough, then people will make and go to a replacement for your service. And that's already happening as we speak. So that's why I'm just like, it's so wild. It's so wild. Can't believe it. I don't know if I said that Elon Musk is Justin Hammer on stream before, but Elon Musk is Justin Hammer. And if you don't know who that is Marvel's canonical biggest Iron Man wannabe. He's so obsessed with being like Tony Stark and Iron Man, and he's just a dick about it. And I'm pretty sure at least a couple people have made that comparison before. But I'm here to say it myself. So it's weird to think about, because I've thought about this before. If I had superpowers, you know, that line of thinking. Because you're just like, man, there's all bad people. Where are the good people? I would argue, if a superhero does a good enough job, you won't know they're there, right? Like, if we're defining like a superhero or just hero's job as protecting people and stopping stuff from happening, then arguably you should never know a hero exists in the first place. Which, funny enough, again, I was talking about Clint Eastwood earlier in the stream. That's like why Iraqi-based Jotaro off Clint Eastwood, because he saw like the lone gunslinger who comes into town, does a good thing, and gets no thanks for it, and leaves only to do it again. Like, in his mind, that's what a hero is. And I guess to a degree, it's true, because you'll find lots of good people in, like, little history tidbits, little fun facts scattered across the internet. It's just those don't make the news at the time or when it's going to happen, you know? Like, what was I thinking of? Let me look up who stopped the... Well... I feel awful because because I will not be able to pronounce his name. Vasily Arkhipov. Do you know who that is? That's the guy who stopped the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, that's the guy who stopped the world from ending. He's legitimate. He is one of the few people you could probably point to and be like, that guy stopped the world from ending. But a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell you his name, you know, off the top of their head, because you just think about the Cuban Missile Crisis. You don't memorize who the guy who stopped it. Oh, I mean, you think it's Professor Xavier in the X-Men, in X-Men First Class, but I'm sorry, they're not real. Guys, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but Professor Xavier and the X-Men are not real. They're allegories for oppressed minorities. They're literary allegories, which arguably can make them even cooler, but well-written metaphors are always cool, but they're not real. The real heroes are those who stand up against oppression every day. Excelsior! I gotta model his hair. Well, okay. Here's what I can do. I can just take the sketch and then just rotate it. And this is what the spikes would look like if they were going back a bit more. So that's what we'll go with. But Rogue is real, right? Rogue? I mean, like, listen, Sal, if you want to find a Southern belle with a dyed streak in her hair, you can do that. She's real like that, so I hope you take comfort in that. Can they kill you by touching you? Maybe. Again, you're narrowing the pool, but we are talking about a singular person who may or may not exist. You could probably find her, but I'm not going to be the one to tell you she is or is not real. Heck yeah, Spark Mandrill. I've watched a lot of video essays about Dragon Ball GT in the last couple days, and they're all basically the same thing, but I would like to say the biggest tragedy of Dragon Ball GT is that they made Vegeta cut his fucking hair, and like, a Saiyan would never cut his hair. We all know this. I mean, if nothing else, it's just because Akira Toriyama made them really fun with their hair, so that they would never cut it. And the fact that Vegeta cut his hair that he had for his entire life in Dragon Ball GT is such a wild idea, and one that should not be respected. The mustache is whatever. The mustache is fine. I mean, it's not, but it's fine. The hair is really what pushes me over the edge at one point. Also, you could argue that, because I was talking literally last stream about the idea of Z ending at the Cell Saga, and you could argue the one benefit to the end of Z past the Majin Buu saga is that Goku takes on an apprentice, which is supposed to be the idea of just like the adventure continues ad infinitum. But then they literally undo that within the first episode of GT. And like, I'm done training him. And it's just like, that didn't take any... Goku, we didn't spend any time with you during that. And he's like, haha, whatever. So, that's also a big kick in the nuts. Saiyans or Viltrumites? I mean, I'm going to go with Saiyans. Viltrumites are inherently more powerful than a Saiyan, but one, while I do like what I've heard about Invincible, I should read the comics, honestly, because I don't really want to thing the show. Same thing with One Piece. I don't want to... The show's going to take forever to get through and get done, so I'd rather read the comics. But while they are... They are, like, just defaultly more powerful than your average Saiyan, I famously detest the evil Superman trope. And also, Super Saiyan has had... Going Super Saiyan is beyond cool, and also has had an impact on media that I don't think Invincible can have ever. I don't know, because Invincible as a comic is already wrapped up, and there's no Super Saiyan emerging from that. So I'd much rather... And when me and Pig were talking about before, about the idea of Ascended Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, I would love the lightning. I feel like at Super Saiyan 2, you're already looking at kicking a Viltrumite's ass, so... Deja just texted me the wildest thing. People are crazy. But yeah, I'd love to be a Saiyan. And also, if you're a Saiyan in real life, you don't have to deal with the cowardice of Akira Toriyama cutting off your tail. You can keep your tail and theoretically become the Great Ozaru. Whether or not you get to become Super Saiyan 4, whether or not that's a canon transformation you get as a Saiyan, I guess could either be up to you or the interpretation you're stuck with. But it'd be neat. I guess it would be better if you went the GT route for that specifically, because if we decide to say, okay, you get Super Saiyan, if you get Super Saiyan God, you know, like you can only go up to 3 by yourself, and then you have to go to God. Then at that point you need 5 other Saiyans, and that that would be an issue, because if we're just talking about, like, I got this power in real life, and now I have to, you know, use it properly. I have bad news for you. There are no other Saiyans. You do not get to be a Super Saiyan God. Okay, I actually think, because we're gonna work on this more tomorrow. Well, that's the thing, Paula. Okay, so Paula, the first thing is to train my Ozaru form. I would simply go out into the jungle like Goku, because that's where Goku trained and how he got so strong in the first place, is he trained in the jungle for his entire life. If I go into the jungle where I couldn't hurt anyone, become an Ozaru there, try and train myself. Furthermore, if I wasn't doing that, I just wouldn't look at the moon. Goku did that for most of his life before the beginning of the series. In fact, most Saiyans just don't look at the moon. That was the thing in Super Broly. We see Saiyans on a mission, and the one's like, don't look at the moon. And he's like, oh shit, you're right. So, as long as I know not to look at the moon. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to continue this tomorrow. Legitimately, and I feel so bad to Sal. Sal has been so patient with me. But we'll have an entire stream tomorrow where I might get it done off stream tomorrow. We'll see how quick I can do it. But, because right now all we got is we're going to do the blast. We're going to draw the pose, do the blast, then logo, and some more editing, and then all done. And hopefully if it looks good, then I got one more commission done. But yes, I appreciate y'all hanging with me tonight. It was a super fun time. I enjoy me a stream where lots of different people pop on by. Let's see who we should raid. I'm gonna stick with being a... What was I thinking of? Being a Saiyan, though. You can't convince me otherwise. I'm seeing. Who should I raid? You know what? Let's raid Captain Big. Because I was literally watching my friend play Last Year of Nostalgia the other day. So, I want to see everyone who subbed to get their Rogers out. Get your Jolly Rogers out. We're raiding another pirate crew. We gotta raise the colors. Raise the colors. But yeah, appreciate everyone stopping by. I'll see you tomorrow, and we will finish Sal's commission then. See you then. Bye.